it's sensitizing me to the suffering of other people, so I can develop a little, compassion.
Why does Jupiter save? Why, when the Shula Dasha comes to a certain place, it kills you? But if Jupiter's aspecting it, or as he said, I didn't even know this, if it's even transiting that sign. See, he's given that assignment because when he studies it, he'll understand it better than anybody else. And you can look at a person's chart and see what they can understand. And so give him something to research along that line. So he can understand better. And so he's telling me that the transit of Jupiter will protect the person.
No, he's hoping that because he's about to change Shula Dashas.
That's true. But Jupiter is aspecting the Shula Dasha that's
He's been studying this for a little bit, so.
So I could suffer a little, but Jupiter is aspecting the malefic Shula. So
wait.
I'm not going to die. It's not going to be that easy for me.
Aspect by Brahma.
I can't get out.
Aspect.
Yeah.
Wait.
She's got a question.
What's the aspect? Is it a Rashi Drishti aspect? Because it's aspect
It could be.
the Graha Drishti?
I would say that a Graha Drishti aspect would be stronger than the other one.
The Rashi Drishti? But the
Yeah,
Rashi
but both
Drishti
of them, I mean, it'd be like Jupiter has a desire to help you in the case of Graha Drishti,
Okay.
right? And then in the case of the other one, it seems like there would be circumstances which would, be kind of,
I thought it'd be the natural environment that's always present.
There's some really specific rules for the differences between them in Shulas. I've got
Oh, really?
tapes of Guruji teaching longevity that will help you. It's in that.
Oh.
So and the transiting Jupiter aspecting that sign
It's protecting you.
is protecting you. Again, by Graha and Rashi Drishti by transit?
In different ways.
Okay.
And
Well, like, for
depending on the
instance, there was a
strength of
guy
where it's...
who fell off of a side of a rock in Yosemite, and he broke his back, right? So he was running the dasha of Sagittarius, which indicates a fall,
From heights.
and then it was like this, and then he had Saturn and the Sun and Jupiter conjoined in Virgo, so it's aspecting, right? And then, I guess with the sub-dashas or whatever, he was in Sun Mahadasha, and so he fell. And he says, how come I didn't die? And I says, because Jupiter was right there with Saturn and the Sun. He didn't let you die. He was in a coma, he fell, all this stuff.
Saturn coma.
Yeah.
Jupiter's keeping him alive, Saturn's keeping him in coma.
It's real.
Yeah.
Jyotish Guru.
So the Jupiter though, why does Jupiter keep you alive? Why does Jupiter not let the person die?
Because it sustains. It wants to preserve life.
Okay, how's it sustain? How's it preserving life?
Well, it's the Akasha Tattva, and the Akasha Tattva is what keeps all the elements together.
Okay, that's a good logical reason. And I'll agree with that. But even deeper.
It's God. And if God doesn't want you to die, then you ain't gonna die.
What are the different names? What names do you know of Jupiter?
Of Jupiter?
Yeah.
Well, there's
Brihaspati, Guru, what else?
Guru, there's
Saurachara, teacher of the Sauras, the light beings.
Suryachara.
Sora. Sora, like Asura, Sora. Sauracharya.
Suracharya.
Teacher of the light beings. Jiva.
Oh, Jiva.
Jiva's a name of Jupiter.
Wow.
And Jiva literally means when we say Jivatma, it's the individual soul within you. Jiva literally means, when you look it up in Dhatupat, Dhatupat? Dhatupat's Nirukta. It's the breakdown of the words to the root meaning.
Oh, the Dhatu.
The Dhatu, the root meaning of the word. And in Dhatupat, Jiv is explained as that which protects the prana. That which is keeping the prana within you. So the Jivatma is the Atma that is keeping the prana within you. Keeping you alive. When the pranas aren't in you, you're dead. Rudra rips the pranas out of you. That's why it's the Rudra sign that's killing you. The Rudra can take the prana from you. The Jiva is keeping the prana in you. Okay? They say Rudra means to cry. And they say when the pranas leave you, everyone's crying. So he who can take the pranas from you is Rudra. So that's why the Rudra sign, it makes everybody cry. Takes your pranas away. The Jiva protects you. Jupiter protects you. It keeps life in you. It's the soul. And so what's the other? It's Jupiter or what that can protect you from dying?
Jupiter and
Or
Venus?
or Jupiter or Venus?
no,
The Sun?
no,
Saturn?
no.
Oh, that's
Or the
the
Atmakaraka.
Atmakaraka.
Oh,
Because
that's right,
the
the
Atmakaraka
Atmakaraka
is
will
like
kill you.
it's like Jupiter
soul.
too.
Yeah.
It's the Jiva.
Yeah.
If the Jiva is strong and keeping you in the body, you can't die. It's not letting the pranas get out.
With one exception.
But what's that?
Should I even go? It's complicated.
Go ahead.
If when calculating the Shuddha Dasha, you have the Atmakaraka is making a change in the longevity, then the Atmakaraka has already activated, and the Atmakaraka can kill you then in the modified longevity sequence.
Oh, not just the like 3 pairs.
This only
Oh.
Pretty detailed.
Small
Good
detail.
distinction.
For our understanding,
That's good to know.
so Jupiter is keeping that life force in us. That's sattva, sustaining. That's a job of Vishnu, correct?
That's actually important if people are actually doing Shuddha Dashas.
Hmm.
Then you can make them.
Yeah, if you're predicting without looking at those aspects.
Well, the Adasha with the Atmakaraka, and it may not kill a person, but they may suffer.
Suffer. So you could
Because
see.
that's what it's not just, you know.
This is more in the case where, sorry to divert more, where when you have Shani, Rahu, or Mangal as Atmakaraka, and then there's a change in longevity compartment due to the placement of Atmakaraka.
Oh,
You know, when you're calculating the Shulas, you have to find the short, medium, or long leg.
Mhm.
right.
So then that Atmakaraka, that's a malefic planet, can still kill during its Shuddha Dasha period.
Oh,
Because the
very
Atmakaraka has already used its Atmakaraka-ness in changing the planet.
Well, what's interesting, I did thinking on some serious troubles I had where I was hospitalized and stuff.
Can we focus
Oh yeah.
Going to,
We'll go into
we're going to
this.
give you 3 hours to
3
speak
hours.
on. We're going to give
I
you 3
know.
hours to be the spotlight for your Shula Dasha.
Okay.
In
We'll
the
talk
spring.
about it. We'll talk about it then.
So Jupiter, Sattva, keeping you alive, keeping all life alive. It's what's keeping life on this planet, is Jupiter. They say that big meteors, when they come through our solar system, that the gravitational pull of Jupiter actually pulls meteors away from the Earth and protects us.
Wow.
Jupiter pulls meteors
Because
away.
it's so big that its gravitational pull actually sucks all the meteors away from us. Yeah, but these are little meteors that are in. There's a belt between Jupiter and Mars, and most of our meteor showers are the little meteors coming from there. So, but this is the power of Jupiter. So we see it astrologically, we see it astronomically, we see it if you know about prana. It's jiva, it's that atma keeping the prana in the body. Then we have sun. How's the sun sattvic? People argue that it's not sometimes.
By being a Dharma planet?
By being a Dharma planet, okay.
Well, it maintains law and order.
It maintains law and order.
There's more, huh?
I know, is there more? How's the sun sattvic?
It beautifies it.
Beautify it what?
Purified.
Purifies everything.
That's good.
On a spiritual level. Yeah. The sun gives us the sun signs. The sun signs are the Dwadasha Ditya. Everything you have in life comes from the signs. You don't have everything that exists, it's coming through the signs. All the resources in your life that you need to do anything are existing because of the sun. It's bringing every situation into your life. The moon is the utilization of those resources. There's a relationship between the sun and the moon in nature. And if you look, minus humans, in nature, everything keeps a natural balance, correct? If there gets to be too much of something, something comes along, kills it off and balances it, so there stays a natural cycle. This is the sun and the moon. It's making sure that the need for something and the use for something stay nice and balanced. So the moon is the utilization of all the material reality. The sun is the presentation, the manifestation of all reality. So it's that sattvic natural balance between how much money you need and how much money you're making. What do they call it in business? It's needs and expenses.
Demand and
Supply and demand. And when we look at the Hora chart's just the sun and the moon, right? Supply and demand. It's all about the supply and demand of the second house and resources. And the second house is that house that's sustaining you. Okay. So then we move to Brahma creates. Any doubt that the sun and the moon are sattvic? Parashara stated it. We talked about it. People debate it often. Mostly when they're running malefic planets connected to their 9th house dashas. They say the sun has to be tamasic because it's so hard. Okay. Brahma creates our Rajasic planets. What's the difference between the Rajas of Venus and the Rajas of Mercury?
Mercury's about money, Venus is about pleasure.
Okay. Go deeper into that.
Mercury is about activities in the world that, just, and Venus is about desire. Desire is kind of like...
You're both hitting on it.
Well, they're both desire. Mercury's a desire for money, Venus is a desire for pleasure.
Who's like getting something? I mean, something.
Look at the elements. Venus is water. Mercury is earth. Right? Mercury represents the creation and manifestation of material world things. Non-living things. So it represents more like business. Making pianos.
Making things.
Making physical reality.
Stuff.
Earth element.
Is Mercury
Yes. It's that kind of Rajas. Business.
and Venus is technology.
Venus is the water. What are we made out of? 75%? Water. If we look at pianos, how much water's in a piano? 3%? But it's primarily earth element, correct? Where we're primarily water element. Venus is the living world creation. Who gets pleasure? Does your piano get pleasure? Does the harmonium get pleasure?
Maybe that's play.
The living world gets pleasure. So Venus is the Rajas of the living world. Venus creates living beings. Mercury creates business, entities, and business products. Very important difference of Rajas. And so, when we take that same... Okay, one more thing to add on that. A sannyas. A sannyasin. You know what a sannyasin is? A monk. You know how you see people all the time, they're debating whether they want to be a monk. It's a monk complex. Should I be a monk? Life isn't working out, so maybe I should go be a monk. It's when things are working out, they aren't debating about being a monk. It's only when things aren't working they start debating about being a monk.
Well, it's like when samsara starts rejecting them.
When what are the two things that aren't working out that makes people want to be a monk?
Money and love.
Money and love.
Yeah.
When the money or the business reality is not working out, when the love's not working out, then people want to be a monk. If it's just a dasha that's making money not work for a little bit, and the person wants to be a monk, and then they go be a monk, and then all of a sudden the dasha comes where they're making money again, will they make a very be good monk?
No.
No.
They're a fair weather monk.
So
The dasha dependent monk.
when we start looking at somebody wanting to be a monk, one of the important indications is from Ārūḍha Lagna, Mercury and Venus need to be destroyed.
So wouldn't they count as like...
When they get destroyed from Ārūḍha Lagna,
Uh-huh.
then a person can be a monk. Because they don't have any money coming in, they're not going to have any relationships anytime soon. They're destroyed. And they're not having any desire for either of those as well. They'll be a very good monk. Very important just to remember that those Rajas planets need to be destroyed. We'll talk about what does destroyed mean, and we'll talk about what's the opposite of destroyed. And when you see somebody who has the opposite of it being destroyed, it being very strong, really think twice when they want to be a monk, and advise them maybe to follow a different spiritual path. Tamas planets, Shiva. So what's the difference between the tamas of Saturn and the tamas of Mars?
It's one is Vayu Tattva, and the other one is
Agni
Agni.
Tattva.
Agni. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Mars was destroyed by fire, and then Saturn was dissolved by
Drying
cutting
out.
out or drying it out.
Okay.
Killing it.
What
Aging
generally
it.
dies by Vayu, and what dies by Agni?
Oh, old men die from Vayu.
Old men. People.
Oh,
All people die by Vayu.
Okay.
Saturn makes us age. It's that Vata in our bodies that makes us old and die. Vata is the main cause of disease. So Saturn destroys the living world. Mars breaks the non-living world. This is called a harmonium. If I go out and run it over a few times, my truck, what do you call it?
Mars. That's
Trash.
Mars.
Dead.
It's called trash.
Right.
The Jadatma is no longer there. Jadatma is the Atma of a non-living thing.
Smashed it.
It's broke. It's Mars has destroyed it.
Living and not what's not.
But let me understand, so Mars can create accidents, and you can die by an accident.
Yeah, but he breaks your car and you just happen to be in it. No,
Oh, you
any
did.
malefic can kill you.
Okay.
But just the primary,
Purpose, okay.
the primary role of these in life.
Okay.
On a natural, if nothing unnatural happens,
Okay.
what's naturally destroying, what gunas? You see, this is
Mhm.
we're understanding. We broke down. We understood that gunas are manifesting all of reality, right? So we see that the sattva guna planets, we see how they're sustaining all reality. Jupiter's keeping life here. Sun and Moon are keeping all the elements that we need to exist here. And then we have the planets that are creating us and the planets that are creating the things we need. And then we have the planets that are destroying us and the planets that are destroying the things we need. So the gunas are moving and utilizing everything through those grahas. Right? We're understanding how the universe works through the gunas. Okay. So when we're doing a muhurta for somebody moving into a house, with somebody getting married, something that has to do with human life, what's the planet that's going to be most malefic?
Saturn.
Saturn.
You don't want Mars in the 8th either.
You don't want Mars in the 8th. But you gotta, if you have a choice, it's like, you get into these, the person, it's a shotgun wedding. They're getting married that month. They want to know the best time that month to get married. And you don't have a choice to make both Saturn and Mars good. If it's relative to human beings, we gotta make sure Saturn is well placed. That he's not gonna kill them. Because he'll cause more problems. If it's about building a house, buying a new car, things of material reality, what planet do we have to watch out for? Mars. Important rule with these gunas. So now in Ayurveda, what are the doshas? Doshas, the things that cause problems. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Right? 3. What are in Ayurvedic psychology? What causes problems in the mind? Pitta? Vata?
Something off.
Pizza makes you crazy.
When Pitta is making you angry, it's not actually in the mind. It's the gunas in the body.
Oh, it's
I mean, it's in, and it's just overflowing to the manavahashrota. It's not actually in the process of the mind.
Doesn't Pitta get in the head?
It can get in the head, but then you physically relieve it.
Oh, you gotta work with the stomach and the liver.
You work with the...
Isn't it
When we get to Ayurvedic psychology, no,
No.
there's actually only 2 gunas for the mind. I believe no one in here knows this.
We're not
Including
Ayurvedic
Eric.
For the mind?
practitioners.
Huh?
Vata and Pitta.
No.
No.
Any guesses? It's not Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. I'll give you a hint.
Contagious.
That's more on a spiritual level. On a mind, mental level.
I mean, Thomas Guna? It's the Thomas Guna that affects the mind?
Everybody know what this is?
Ayurveda.
Charaka Samhita. Charaka is, like Parashar is to astrology, Charaka is to Ayurveda. If he says it, then we don't debate it, we just try and figure out why he's saying it. Okay? Charaka says, who says? Pathogenic factors in the body are Vayu, Pitta, and Kapha, while those in the mind are Rajas and Tamas.
Oh,
Sattva is a healthy state of mind. Rajas and Tamas are an unhealthy state of mind. Who says those are the factors in the mind?
Charaka.
Remember that part. So, when we're talking about Ayurvedic psychology, we're looking at Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva, and we want to increase Sattva. You know what the term is? It's Sattva Vajaya. Sattva Vajaya.
So if you're born,
Sattva Vajaya. Yeah.
if you're born with Rajasic or Tamasic planets aspecting the moon, then you're pretty much messed up for a whole lifetime.
Not messed up. You have work to do.
Right.
We're never messed up. Because you spill something on the floor, it just means you have to take an extra few minutes to clean it up. You know, if you have a baby, you gotta change its diapers. It just doesn't come out and all of a sudden say, "Mom, what can I do for you today?" You know, so messed up is not the right word. More work to do. Right? Okay. So, Rajas and Tamas are the diseases of the mind. Ārūḍha Lagna is what planet's the Karaka?
The moon.
The moon. Moon is mind. And Ārūḍha is all about what is in people's mind, how they're perceiving you. So what planets are going to be good for the Ārūḍha?
The Sattvic planets.
The Sattvic planets. What planets are going to be terrible?
The Tamasic planets.
The Tamasic planets. And the Rajas isn't going to be the best.
Well, Rajas will be just like mainstream, like, oh, he's a great businessman, or
America
she's a great
is,
actor.
you get America.
Yeah.
The Rajas planets, you get America.
That's right.
Go to the page with the chart. So
This
now when
is really cool stuff, by the way. This is totally really
we
cool.
got to understand these from the gunas, right? When we understand from the guna point, then everything else falls into place.
Yeah, it's not just, oh, that's bad, that's good.
This good, that's
Yeah,
bad. It's like,
right.
why is it bad? And it's affecting my mind. Why is Saturn so hard on the mind? Is that tamas guna destroying the life? He's removing life force, you know?
Mhm.
Why is Jupiter supporting the mind so much? He's keeping prana in there to the mind, you know? Oh yeah. Oh, that's second. So